B-roll. All right, Michael. Here we go. Off to turtle, 4:45 in the a.m. Here comes Millie. So Millie is a friend of ours' boat. Joe and James are on that boat. They're dive buddies of ours. And we leave it in the night. This is a long run. It's about a 4-hour run, 38 miles. We get lucky and we get good water, pretty flat. We're able to go pretty fast. Still takes us about 4 hours. We are excited. This is one of the best tides of the year, so we're expecting good water like this. So this is another dive that took place November 2022 on this spot, and this is what we're hoping for. The tidal differential is really, really small. Usually you get really good water visibility like this at this specific spot. This is a shipwreck, and you can see really clear water, a lot of really big snapper. I'm able to take this guy, fight really hard to keep them out of the wreck. If they get stuck in this wreck, it's really hard to extract them off and you'll lose them. And so that's what we're hoping for. This is what we actually experience. We anchor up. Look at this propeller. The boat motor is not on. The current is ripping so fast, like probably 4 or 5 knots. Probably the fastest I've ever seen it. And we try to dive. You can see the visibility is pretty terrible. This is my first drop. The gun almost is disappearing. And yeah, we're a little bit heartbroken. You can see there's fish here. I can hear them. You'll catch a glimpse of fish right here. There's big fish here, and if you can't see them, you can't shoot them. And so you can see that we don't know what's in the water. Oh, there's the flash of fish right there. Big snapper are there, but we're not going to be able to get a shot here. So I come up and I discuss with Michael. It's a bummer. This trip, it's a long trip, takes a lot of planning. We've got this safety rope out back because the current's ripping so hard. This is a 75-foot float line that we've got behind the boat, and I'm kicking with everything I have to get back to the boat. Michael's on the boat just in case I'm not able to kick back to the boat. You can see I kick as hard as I can, and I'm able to just get this line. And I dove off the front of the anchor line. So, I mean, I've moved over 100 feet in just the short span of that dive. And so I get back to the boat over near Michael, and we discuss. I couldn't see. I could hear them. I didn't check how deep I went. They were there, but man, they're going to have to be right there, 2 feet away. Which could happen, but it's eerie. I don't like freaking diving in this murk when there is nets and stuff on this wreck. I think we should go try that other one. All right. So we moved to another spot in this area. This is also a shipwreck. It's visible above water. The water's still a little bit murky, but the current is not quite as strong. It is still moving here, but not nearly as bad as the first location. And first drop here, 2 fish come in. One's a horseside jack. The other one's a pompano. I take the pompano. These fish can fight really well. I get muzzle wrapped. You saw the line kind of got hung up on the end of the gun, which can be dangerous. This is a real gun. I'm not shooting a breakaway. Usually when we're shooting for those big fish, we shoot a breakaway, which means that the spear detaches from the gun completely and is attached to a float. With a real gun, if your gun jams or you get muzzle wrapped, it can be problematic. This is the first fish of the day on this spot. Nice pompano. Goes inside the ice box, and you can see here the first thing we do is we dispatch the fish. We call it braining the fish, put it out of its misery right away, and we also cut just under the gills to bleed the fish. This helps preserve the quality of the meat. Couldn't tell what else there was, but thought I was gonna almost get a double.
That's the money pot right there. That's the spot right there. Yeah. Probably 20 that size, some bigger.
Michael and I are alternating dives. One person manages the boat while the next person dives, helps you recover, stay refreshed while the other person manages the boat. While we drift, the boat's not anchored. So I take my dive, and you can see some good fish. They'll just come into view. I got this guy right here. A lot of times they're shifty, but I'm able to get a beat on him, and I take a shot, and he darts right for the structure and kind of gets hung up. And I'm on the reel gun, so I loosen the drag on the reel and loosen the drag right there, and I'm able to swim to the surface holding onto the gun. And I'm looking to see if Michael's close. We usually can clip a float line onto the gun so it doesn't get lost, and I can just get in the boat and we can come back. You can see trying to call for Michael here.
Michael!
I see the structure, and I realize that the current's not too bad for me to kick against. So I just hold on to that line, start kicking, and it can be quite difficult. Part of freediving is that you're supposed to relax, slow your heart rate before you dive. It's just very difficult to do if you're physically exerting yourself. But it's not too deep, so I'm able to kick forward, kind of hold on to this line, and I'm able to, I cut a little bit of footage there as I breathed up, and I'm able to dive down and see what's going on with this fish. He's kind of tangled up in this this little crack of the wreck. I hit him a little bit low. I'm able to get him loose here, and I'm able to bring in this really nice snapper. You can see all the bait and life that's on this spot. It's really cool. A lot of places in the ocean are devoid of life, and then you get these little islands that are just full of life.
I'm okay. You gotta be careful, there's big bombies here too.
We were kind of killing time at that smaller wreck, hoping that if we just waited, the conditions on the main spot we like to dive would be better. So we head back over. I dropped down to kind of take a look, and you can see there's particulate in the water. We don't know if these are like little jellyfish or some type of biomass or plant material, but the visibility has not improved much. The current is a little bit slower, but still pretty fast. And I get down to the bottom of this wreck, and I do see a permit here. I don't see any of the large African brown snapper that we like to pursue at this spot. And as I come up, I think we kind of decide everybody wants to head back and let's try some of the spots that we have closer to home. It's unfortunate to make this trip and head back, but better to cut our losses. And storm starts rolling in. The audio on this part's really bad because the wind is just howling, but storm's rolling in, and so we start running back towards Freetown and running away from this storm. And luckily we're running with the wind and the waves, but you can see here the sea really picks up. This is about, it's hard to tell, the GoPro doesn't do it justice. This is about a 3-foot following sea. You can see the white caps, and the boat even kind of goes up and over and stalls on these waves, but because we were running with the wind and the waves, we are able to make good time. So after a exhausting and long run back, we get to a spot that's a little bit closer to where we launched the boat. And right away, this is Michael, has this fish come really close, so close that he has to actually hip fire his gun, so he's not looking down the end of it. And this fish pulls a ninja move. He fires, and that fish had turned just at the right moment and swims away scot-free. Chalk up a miss to Michael. This is my camera. You can see the difference. I don't know exactly what type of filter the Michael's camera has and my GoPro, but his is a little bit more green, picks out those greens. Visibility is a lot better, closer to where we launched the boat, and I'm able to take a nice shot on this snapper and bring him up. Still really stormy. If you look here, you can see these big, huge waves still rolling through. We were, after that long run, being so tired, we were still determined to get some fish, and So we're able to connect with a few. This is not a bad eater fish here. This is me again, and still on that same spot. And I take a drop, and it'll be a little bit harder to see, but as I get to the bottom, a fish very similar to the one that Michael shot at and missed comes in right here at the top of my screen. And I do the same thing. I fire, and this fish pulls the same ninja move and darts to the right just as I pull the trigger and chalk up a miss for me. So with these big seas, I'm not feeling super good, starting to feel a little green. So we run to a new spot. I get a little bit of a rest in the boat, and we go to a spot that we know holds big fish. Usually we can't dive it. The visibility is not fantastic, but it's huntable, which is awesome. This place you usually can't see at all. So Michael takes the first drop. You can see that green color that his camera lens picks up, and this nice fish comes in. There's a couple of them down here, but they're not too spooked, and he's able to put his shaft in this fish, and this by far is the fish of the day. This is just a really nice African brown snapper, just a great specimen of this fish, and he hits it just behind the gill plate. Really good holding shot, and it hurts the fish, so he doesn't struggle too much, and he's able to bring it up without too much of a fight. And once you get your hands in the gills of the fish, you know the fight is over. You can tell he's got his hands there, and he's excited. When I drive up in the boat, Michael's looking at me, and he's fist pumping, and he does the same thing. First thing we always do is we dispatch the fish. We want to minimize the suffering and put him out of his misery right away. He also bleeds that fish. You can see that blood. If you notice when you fillet fish, they have this red bloodline on the fish, and you can minimize that by just cutting just below the gills and pulling as much blood out just after dispatching the fish. It really helps the quality of the meat, but this is just a really, really good fish. This fish weighed out right at the 15 kg mark, which is just a great fish. You'll see when I'm cleaning him that he's a lot bigger than the other fish we got that day.
Well, it's a baby one. Little baby guy. Hey-o!
Now we're talking. Am I recording?
No. Just kidding.
Oh, okay.
So as we're winding down the day, this is one of the last drops. Before I drop down here, Michael makes me promise. He says, "John, don't shoot at fish bigger than this on the last drop of the day and one up me." And so I drop down. You can see this ghost net that's laid down on the bottom here. Luckily it's laid down. That makes it a little less dangerous. See some good fish here. Waiting for my opportunity. They're a little bit more spooked since we've had a couple dives here. You can see that big fish that just darts right through. It doesn't give me a shot. And smaller fish comes in from the right here. There he comes. And I'm able to get a bead on this fish. I really wanted to stay a lot longer and continue to dive this spot because we don't get this type of visibility here often, and there's a lot of really good fish here. And but it was the end of the day, of a long day, and we were all tired, so it was getting time to wrap it up and head for the boat ramp.
Be careful of the float line. I listen to you.
Tell your options. You pick the little one.
Yeah.
Not huge, but
I think let's call it.
all right.
You guys are wait.
They give you a call?
Oh, they did it.
I'm starting to feel a little guilty.
So Michael was able to sneak in one last drop and grab one more snapper before we head out. The other boat that Joe and James were in, they said we were pretty knackered and so they headed back to the boat ramp. My car was actually blocking them in, and so they were waiting for us to head back. So we made our way back after that, and this is the next day. We've had the fish on ice all night. I like to let the fillet kind of firm up on the fish, get them really, really cold, makes the fillet job a little bit easier. And I decided to time lapse this for you. This is about 2 hours of pulling fillets. Normally me and Michael work together, and I pull the fillets, he skins and portions them, but Michael wasn't able to come out today, and so I'm all by my lonesome. That's not true, because Casey is inside. She's running the vacuum sealer, and you can see she comes out to swap out this tray, and I tell her she's on camera. She didn't know that I had the video camera running, and she wasn't super thrilled. But anyway, I'm using a few different knives here. You can see there's 2 on the fillet station there. One is awesome. It's called a Havlon. It's almost like a razor blade. It's got a detachable, almost like a scalpel blade that you can replace. They're pretty affordable. They're about $10 a blade, and you can sharpen them, but then just replace them. And really, really awesome blade. This is the bigger fish. You can see the size of the fillets coming off of this fish, and you can see compared to the other fish just how big he is. He stretches almost across that table, and see Gideon helping me take the fillets inside there. But it's a group effort, and so we don't just trophy hunt big fish. For us, this is sustaining, and it's getting food for our family. Here we are in the kitchen. This is my lovely wife, Casey. We are going to do something simple for lunch with some of the snapper. We've cut and cubed the snapper, which I'll show. The goal here is to trim any connective tissue, and you can see a little bit of that bloodline that we trimmed out, and then just get these cubes kind of small, about a 1/2 inch by a 1/2 inch, or 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter. And so we've got about 2 cups of cubed snapper. And then Casey, what do we have here?
We've got some shredded carrots, some diced cucumber, bell pepper, green onion, purple onion, avocado, and then just some canned diced jalapenos.
And what we're going to make today is we're going to make poke bowls for lunch. So Casey, what's the step?
Okay, so once we have the fish all diced and cubed, we just add some soy sauce, and I don't really measure, I just kind of eyeball it until it gets kind of like a good coating. That's probably good. And then what we really love is the sesame oil. Just adds a really good flavor to the fish. That was probably about a tablespoon. And then we just stir it up, and I just make sure that it has a nice color to it. I might need to add a little bit more soy sauce. Actually.
Yeah, a little more.
A little more? All right.
Generous with the soy sauce.
Okay.
Okay, what's next?
So then we just need to prepare the bowls.
The audience.
Okay, now we're gonna put together our poke bowls. So I like rice, and then all the veggies, carrots, cucumber, bell pepper, onion, green onion, avocado, and jalapenos. And then for our fish, our snapper, and then you can add a few other toppings. We have wasabi, we have this Korean barbecue sauce that I was gonna try as a topping, and then you could add more soy sauce as well.
All right, let's plate up the boys. We're gonna fast forward through that, and then we'll see you for the taste test. Lots of fish for me. Okay. All right, time to taste test. Everybody's got their weapon of choice.
Yeah.
Okay, mix it up. Ooh, did you put all the potatoes for me?
Yes, I did.
Very nice.
Oh, I need a bit more soy.
A little soy. Okay. Okay.
And then some sauce. Never mind.
In order of age, starting with the children. Aiden, go ahead and take a bite. Tell me what you think.
Want to take a video?
Yep, we're on video. We're on all the time.
I really like the fish.
Okay. Archer, how about you?
Yeah, it's really flavorful, especially with the added soy sauce.
Gideon?
The rice and the Pokeballs and
The veg?
that
Yeah.
cucumber, yeah.
All good?
Oh, good. The taste.
It's good.
What do you think, Gideon?
Love it.
It's a really fresh, light. It's a great way to enjoy the fish. We eat the snapper a lot of different ways. We grill it, we smoke it, we'll cook it in a cast iron. We do sushi, and poke bowls, ceviche, fish a lot of ways. So hopefully we can show you all the different ways we like to enjoy the fish. Thanks for joining us. Bye.
Bye!
Ooh, this is